A very good evening, viewers, and thank you for tuning in to the NILEcast on your West Nile television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumuringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories this evening, let's have a look at the headlines. In the headlines tonight, Moyo leaders call for continuous peace along the borders. West Nile youths reject Mao's proposed constitutional amendment bill 2024. And dead people and strangers verified as PDM beneficiaries in Alikuya, sub-county. This and more in the NILEcast News Bulletin. A warm welcome, viewers, to the NILEcast on your West Nile television. Let's dive straight into the stories that are made headlines today. The communities living along the Uganda-South Sudan border have been urged to have correct attitude and respect for one another as the two countries strive to demarcate the border lines. This urge was made during the community dialogue between the residents from Uganda and South Sudan. Okumu Dominic reports.
The urge comes following a recent misunderstanding between some farmers from Uganda and their counterparts from South Sudan on a piece of land, which took the intervention of the leaders from both Moyo and Kajukeji to help resolve the misunderstanding among the two communities. Honorable Anyama Williams, the chairman Local Council 5 Moyo District, said the issue of the border demarcation will be addressed by 2027 with funding from the African Union, and calls for peaceful coexistence among the communities living along the border, adding that there is need for the communities to engage in fighting poverty other than fighting among themselves.
In the year 2027, it is expected this process of clear boundary verification would be achieved with the funding and support from the African Union. But we are appealing to both communities. For now, as we are waiting for this, we need to call for peace. Both communities can engage in economic activities. They can continue to coexist peacefully. And we should have respect for each other.
Adding that as the border demarcation is underway, the people should have correct attitude and respect among themselves so as to preserve peace along the borders.
In any case, even after boundary verification, it requires the correct attitude to sustain the peace that we are building. You can clearly show the boundary, but the one party can reject it. So it still calls for harmony, for understanding, for being peace-loving people.
Mr. Lisi David Christopher, the Commissioner Kajukeji, said the border are demarcated only for administrative purposes, but in reality, the Madi people and the Kukus are brothers. Therefore, the Kukus are not ready to fight against their Madi brothers. He, however, urged the two communities to always report their differences to the leaders so that such issues can be resolved peacefully without taking into arms among themselves.
We demarcate the border for administrative purpose. But in reality, the Madi community here in Moyo district are our brothers. So I have come here to tell them and to assure them that we are not ready for any misunderstanding.
Mr. Nyerere Julius, the Assistant Resident District Commissioner Moyo, said the Madi people and the people from South Sudan shared a lot in common, which relationship dated way back in the 90s when South Sudan was yet fighting for their independence, and said the people need to cherish the peace and unity the two countries have all along been having along the borders of the two countries.
To bring Panasonic batteries and Everest to Arua, around 30 boxes to defend that front line so that the Arabs, they don't over Nimule. Because we know we have our brothers Madi from side of Opare and Pagari, because I'm a Madi in Uganda. Today, South Sudan is liberated and their independence. we shall cherish the peace our people enjoy along our common border.
Duku John, a South Sudanese national, said relationships between the two countries can continue, but when there continues to be violence, it will disrupt the peace along the borders, and urged the two communities to carry on activities on their ancestral land without any interference, and urged those without land who would wish to cultivate in the area to approach the leadership and the landlords so that they can be given land for farming instead of wanting to grab the land by force.
Relations can continue, but when we continue to violate, when we continue to intimidate, it disrupts the peace. So we suffered for long in South Sudan. We have attained a little peace. We need to protect this peace, not us alone. Ugandans have to support us in maintaining this peace. We should not be disrupted. Let us continue cultivating in our ancestral land. Those Ugandans who need to cultivate in our area, as we had been doing with them, we welcome them. They consult the landlords who are here.
For long, some community members in Moyo district and those in Kajokeji County, South Sudan, have been grappling with land conflicts, especially along the borders, something which in the past led to bloodshed between the two community members living along the border, something which drew the attention of the two governments on the matter and are now looking forward to resolving the border issue by 2027. But however, though the two governments are looking for ways of resolving these issues, the communities still continue to clash on land along the borders. It's from this background that the leaders are calling for calm and peace among their people as they await the final border demarcation by 2027. Dominic Anthony Okumu, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories. Following the proposal of the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Norbert Mao, youths from the West Nile region have rejected the proposed amendment bill as it may compromise the constitution of the country. Farish Majid reports.
A section of concerned youths from West Nile sub-region have come out to openly reject the proposed Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2024, funded by Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Honorable Norbert Mao, which is seeking to have some changes on the Constitution. In the proposed bill, election of the President will be done by the Parliament. Women members of Parliament will have to serve for a maximum of 2 years term, and at least possession of Senior 6 certificate for mayorship and council positions, among other changes ahead of 2026 general elections. According to the youths, the country is not ready for the proposed changes.
Uganda is still a very young country democratically. You cannot really try to bring that system of voting a president through the parliament to Uganda. You cannot do it now, and no one is ready in the whole of Uganda, Koboko in particular.
I'm trying to advise my brother Mao for the bill he's trying to bring around. That bill is going to cause problem for us, we the Luo community, because they are going to see that we are the one fighting Ugandans. We are not fighting Ugandans. Mao, you stop that bill. We don't need it. We want us to be as Luo. We don't want problem. We don't want Ugandans to fight Luo. So for me, I'm not going to support that bill. And I will stand with my people, with some of the Luo. I will talk to them. Those in my village, I will go and talk to them. They should not stand with you.
The group is now warning the legislators from the Western sub-region against supporting the proposed bill.
Mao should be accountable as individual. So we're saying this in a good faith. And then two, as Northern Ugandans, we are standing to warn our MPs that MPs of Northern Uganda, right from Karamoja up to West Nile, they should be warned. These are 39 districts of Northern Uganda. They should be warned. This is a bill which is a temptation for all these members of parliament. But the reason why we send them there is to think about the local people, the voice of the voiceless. Let them think about them.
And I will say this to my representatives from West Nile. The 42 representatives of West Nile, the 4 MPs from Koboko in particular, don't disappoint us. Otherwise the ground is not safe for you if you side with the Mao.
Several individuals and politicians across the country have also come out to speak about the proposed Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2024. on which the members of parliament will have to decide whether to approve or drop the reforms. Farish Majid, West Nile TV, Nalcast.
And more in our stories, the alleged corruption tendencies by stakeholders in the implementation of the parish development model in Igamara Parish has prompted the Assistant Resident District Commissioner, Dramani Collins, to direct the Alikuya Sub-County officials to pause the verification of SACCO members. This comes after several names of dead and non-residents were cited, which led to the halting of the parish development model project. Osuta Yusuf reports.
According to the records and also the local leaders, PDM officials in Igamara Parish, Alikwa Sub-County in Marta District added and verified dead people, non-outsiders and total strangers outside Marta District as potential beneficiaries for the project, a syndicate which caused uproar from the residents. The LC3 chairman for Alikwa Sub-County, Honorable Edema Robert Peterson, upon reading the names of outsiders, dead people and the strangers who infiltrated the list of beneficiaries, accused Igamara Parish PDM officials for adding their girlfriends and ghosts in order to steal the money meant to elevate the poor from poverty.
Apango Jimmy, Yapango Wate, Ndema Madrichana Drapurare, Mbamaru, Mamarundi Malava for a ladder. Adatara, Mamarundi Malava for a Mamaru, Runi Mu Bertinde. I can Madra, fully, Mamaru and Body end. Baramotokini, Tango Draborico, Tango Drandrabo, Saki Pango, Madrabo Motokiko, Bazikodi, and Nikiko, Alebari Kifingakili, Itasi, Lucy, or Rodrigo. Somebody, Banya is using as a Bazarada, and you didn't Zada Sajarina Fada by Muzini.
Mr. Ondama Hiller, a VST, accused the PDM officials in Igamara Parish over disunity, which has led to these kinds of irregularities.
Maybe they are keeping in touch as it in a chingon RC. So the Madame Belenisu or Command Musudiare, by PDC system, where the keep by Sako chap of a committee to keep by the chicken tico. That's why, for group the key, you can a balance code. Basako system, where the key, you didn't get easy, PDC system, you didn't get easy.
The parish chief for Igamara Parish, Mr. Abirga Eric, whom the residents and local leaders testified he was critical sick for so many months, averred that his sickness delayed payments of the PDM beneficiaries in the parish, henceforth leading to the discovery of the mess.
Your big team up there, Uruanda. Taditia manager like a tanner again, Mazor,
Amarki.
Suddenly, you keep out of your kisses with the Revenandra. Send by Yakta or something like it. Because they're done up, my person, my tappers, and rock, I will send the superi. Teddy, my dear Azor, no did Dira. Some D as the key, tell us as well a kid this soup. See the blabanim, a farkibam different, Buffett, Mavra, the key CDO. Then, CD of Rabam did call the executive.
Mr. Dramani Collins, the assistant RDC for Marta District, who decried the irregularities and threatened to order for the arrest of PDM officials if they repeat the same mistake again in the future, advised the parish chief of the area to ensure all the 5 villages in Igamara Parish benefit equally by taking 2 SACCO groups per village.
Irregularities, the kiss war, you could fight Joan. Mabuslo, Madi, see for Miniri. Let us say in Sua, you ask a one time, misunderstand the Ruchi, Bombeka site. This is government program. Do your work. You do your work. Make sure every village will benefit. You also talking about a village, I disobeyed. As assistant RDC. We are going to ensure all the villages must benefit.
The identified gaps and corruption tendencies by the stakeholders in the implementation of parish development model in Igamara Parish has prompted the Assistant RDC, Mr. Dramani Collins, to direct Alikwa Sub-County officials to pause verification of SACCO members from the parish until the dead people, the strangers and unknown outsiders are deleted from the list of beneficiaries. Yusuf Osuta, West Nile Television, Nalcast.
And more in our stories this evening, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has advised the recently retired officer to invest his retirement tokens into income-generating activities. This process took place in Entebbe. Take a look.
President Museveni has urged the retiring military officers to invest their retirement packages wisely, especially advising they should steer clear of gambling. He cautioned during a retirement ceremony for 5 UPDF generals held at State House in Entebbe. Mr. Museveni emphasized his commitment to ensuring that retiring soldiers receive adequate financial support, acknowledging the years of low pay they endured. During his address, the president highlighted the foundational principles of the UPDF rooted in overcoming Uganda's political instability in the 1960s. He stressed the need for unity beyond tribal or religious affiliations, advocating for a collective national identity. Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs Jacob Oboth acknowledged the UPDF's role in shaping individuals from high school graduates to PhD holders and praised President Museveni's leadership. He declared the UPDF right now is one of the best respected, organized and professional armies not only in Africa but in the world. Major General Silva Kayemba, speaking on behalf of the retiring generals, expressed gratitude for the president's leadership, which has elevated Uganda's military standing internationally. The ceremony honored the following retired generals: Major General Silva Kayemba, Brigadier General Christopher Kasaija, Brigadier General Charles Kisembo, Brigadier General Godard Busing, and Brigadier General Fred Kararam. The event was attended by notable figures, including the Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Huda Abasan Oleru, Commander of Land Forces, Lieutenant General Kayanja Muhanga, Chief of Joint Staff, Major General Jack Bakasumba, and senior ministry officials, along with the family members of the retiring generals. Masidraru, NILE Cast.
And more in our stories in sports. Jonam has continued with that impressive run in the Kopu Obimu 2024 after going 2 matches unbeaten, winning one while the other ending in a draw. Take a look.
With the skills, strategy and teamwork, Jonam is excelling well in the 7th edition of Obimu Cup tournament to mark the 14th coronation anniversary, which will be in Pakwach district on 26th October this year. Jonam in their first game managed to defeat Okoro 2-0 and on Wednesday 25th this month at Kopio ground held a 1-1 draw against Padire, which puts Jonam on top of the table with the 4 points and 3-goal average. Speaking shortly after the game at Kopio ground in Pakwach district, Odoch Simon Peter, the head coach Jonam, attributed their success in the game to commitment and team spirit.
For the first game, we won the game successfully. But in football, you should go for 3 things: lose, draw, and win. For the day, it was not our luck. We wanted the win, but it was unable. That's why we made a draw. So we are planning our next game against the same team, Padire. We are going to play in War Ground. So we should plan it well, and we have seen the loophole, the reason why we drew.
Alfred Wachgiu, head coach Padire, revealed that this was their first game and expresses more efforts to be put by the players to excel in the next game with the Koro on Saturday 28th September this year at Luo Ground, Nebi.
The first game it was not bad, as we started with a 1-1 draw at Jonam, Kopio Ground. Otherwise it was a tough game at the beginning, but we managed to get a draw. Otherwise it is not bad, but we are seeing a better future when we go to our ground, which are otherwise it was our first game.
Meanwhile, Ronald Jacoma, Director Events and Promotions, Alur Kingdom, pledged support for the tournament, as this is to bring the youths together for a common one goal to fight against teenage pregnancies and marriages.
The basic aim of this tournament is to have the youth get involved in productive activity, instead of letting them be out there in idle activity, chewing cards, taking all those funny liquor out there. We do engage them, like as you see right now, there's so many youth out there, there's so many fans who have come to support the different teams. That is one of the tenets that Keralu is trying to look at, to engage the youth in productive activity. So like we say, the 7th edition, we shall have a third game next week.
The tournament is sponsored by MTN Uganda and other non-governmental organizations working in Greater Lure. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And with that, that marks the end of the Nilecast on your West Nile Television. Thank you for tuning in. Let's meet tomorrow, same time, same place, only on the West Nile Television, Nilecast News Bulletin. My name's Okumaringa Christine. Have a good evening.